Okay, let's try and explain the bubble sort to you. It works on the principle of comparing adjacent pairs. So in this case it says we want to sort this list from smallest to biggest. And then it compares the adjacent pairs. So it will compare, for example, 2 and 5 and say, well, they are in the correct order. Then it will compare 5 and 3 and it will say, no, 5 and 3 are not in the correct order, so they are swapped. So we go to the second line, so now you have 2, 3 and 5. The next adjacent pair that's compared is 5 and 9. And it now says, okay, they are still correct, so we don't need to do any swap. Then it compares 9 and 7, and it says, no, they are not in the right order. Therefore, we need to swap 9 and 7, which takes us to the third line. So we have, now we compare 9 and 1 with each other. It says, no, they are not in the correct order. So we swap 9 and 1, ending up with 2, 3, 5, 7, 1, and 9. That is what you have after the first pass, after going through the list for one time. So if you look at the code, every time you do a pass, one element will be in its correct position. So in this scenario, there's 6 elements. So if you've done 5 passes, you'll know 5 elements will be in the correct position, and definitely the 6th one will also be. So the outer loop says pass goes from 1 to count -1. So if there's 6 elements, you only need to go through the list 5 times. Remember, the picture we're showing shows 1 pass. Okay, so when you go through the list, what do you compare? You start at position 0, position 1, that is the second element, and you go up to list.count minus pass. What does that mean? So when you go through the first time, you only need to compare 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. When you go through the second time, you would need to compare 4 elements, because 1 is already in position, then 3, then 2, then 1. So the second for loop says how many comparisons do you need to do per pass. And then it's basically just the if statement that says if the first one is greater than the second one, if 1.getAge is greater than 2.getAge, you swap the 2. Okay, so the outer for loop says if you have 6 elements, you need 5 passes. If you have 10 elements, you need 9 passes. The inner for loop says how many comparisons do you need to do per pass, and those comparisons get less for each pass. That's why it says minus pass. So for each pass, the number of comparisons that need to be done becomes less. And then I've added sorted state as assigned to 1 because it's now sorted on age.